C'est la garantie de la paix chez nous.
Volez-moi. My mother. Manuel Nguissou et Cheikh Blaise. Heureusement que le garant de la paix chez nous, c'est la nourriture et la boisson. Pendant que les paresseux continuent à se plaindre, le monde est réservé pour ceux qui se lèvent tôt pour s'attaquer. Samo Legia and Karachi Sajang. Fortunately, the guarantee of peace in our country na chop and mimbo. Bochong San Francis Cho Balingwa Ayunga. Let's pray for more food and mimbo. Nilo de New York, prions pour la nourriture et la boisson. Hey! Haba, 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 haba. Volez-moi!
Ensemble, prions pour la nourriture et la boisson. C'est la garantie de la paix chez nous.
Rap même on the beat. Vinyatina, Mushika. Give I beg lower flow. Loud doesn't mean right, so keep quiet. Right doesn't even mean you are inspired. Back it up, rushing, running back to reality. My train cannot be too slow to reach my destiny. You moye, she wants you me. Dum la ranye penny wo, she dum she me. Yeah, you moye, she lives she me. Ini mini money mo, she lives she me. Who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. We do a different. Where you are, where you are. No, I can't different. Me tell you, you say video, you say you fine, you bring shine. Yeah. You say you born, you took a makeup on. Now what went wrong? That excitement's gone. The idea was to be happy, but my dear, he's not your daddy. I see young Molenchima, Madam Opportunist. You carry the cross, the bigger the cross, but go with the greatest. You moyo, she lives she me. Ini mini money mo, she lives she me. Who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. We do a different. Where you are, where you are. No, I can't different. Who you are, who you are. Who you are, who you are. We do a different. Where you are, where you are. No, I can't different.
October 2019, you can see things for yourself happening. You can see how the population. You can see the population. That is the great king, King Marshall. Increase the population. Increase the population. You can see a wonderful man crowd. You can see a wonderful man crowd. That is there to receive it. That is it, take a seat. That doubles as Field Marshal on the occasion of the 1st of October 2019. Today, 1st of October 2019.
Something as we were singing in the bushes, in the gutters. So that really I'm touched. That's why if I had to shed my tears, I would really shed with that God the Almighty.
Abstract. Daddy was shot in the head, Diego. You are the only one that I depend on. At this, I know you cannot let me down.
Nothing on the waka. People just the suffer. Picking them for bush. Papa, put your hands on me. I know the waka. Sibolo know the waka. Before it gets too late, Papa, put your hands on me.
Daddy was shot in the head, Diego. You are the only one that I depend on. At this, I know you cannot let me down.
Nothing on the waka. People just the suffer. Picking them for bush. Papa, put your hands on me. I know the waka. Sibolo know the waka. Before it gets too late, Papa, put your hands on me. Papa, put your hands on me.
Je m'appelle Vivic. Every day we just the bad. Plenty secret they forgot that, yeah. Every day we just the mark time, yeah. Sec.Chris. Why some people just the ambo, yeah. Other people get me sample, yeah. People dying on the front door, yeah. Sec.Chris.
Popcorn day, Kona Kumba road on block. Go for the one no student inside the school block. Come up along on Mondays if you enter shop. Freedom of speech now for the week, so who be you for talk? See they getting us now, we just see my family they for shine my 2 years now, what we never see. Gonna very full of refugees, but no day, no peace. Papa God, rescue your people, please. My man become along yesterday, so some people catchy. I don't know who be catchy, but I know say they be lashy. We don't know who be the enemy, we dey in stress and pain overseas. Show us a remedy.
Nothing on the waka. People just the suffer. Picking them for bush. Papa, put your hands on me. I know the waka. Sibolo know the waka. Before it gets too late, Papa, put your hands on me. Papa, put your hands on me.
Mama me no day, Papa no day, na me arijere. I go lewa, finish school, no be not today. I go find below that thing no day, and look me like the my sister hustle, my mom picking, no give belly. I carry IDP them, my heart broke for IDP them. I carry IDP them. Papa God put your hands on me. At this point we need one another. You shouldn't kill your sister and your brother. It could be the reason why God is silent on us, cause we're committing a crime and that's murder. Oh Father, take control. We've learned we want no more. If you leave us, we are gonna die, yeah. It's reggae dasha. Now that's how we begin. It's my need, yeah.
Say a prayer for we, a prayer for my people. Dako.
Look a bit younger.
When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. Weber.
One day, God go hear what prayer that day.
one day, oh, God go hear our prayer. I say one day, God go hear our prayer. Daddy, oh, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer. Una dey for bush, oh, una no get chop, oh, daddy, oh, una just pray, oh, God go hear our prayer. Begin the need to go school, the day is a bush, oh, daddy, oh, make we just pray, oh, God go hear our prayer. Sing with me.
One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
I say one day,
God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
see how a woman dead the bona is a bush, oh, daddy, yeah. Oh, begin the lady, bingo school again, mama. Who will it cry? I go cry again, oh, daddy, yeah. One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy, yeah. One day, oh, God go hear our prayer. I say one day,
God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
I tell you, so painful for seeing one brother they kill another brother. Papa God, now you want to know this story. Now you want to know this story. But Papa, what did happen for this place now? Hey! Begin the day for bush, oh. They no get water, oh, daddy, oh. Then the sick, oh. God go hear our prayer. We not get the house them. They don't burn our house them. Daddy, oh, make we just pray, oh. God go hear our prayer. Sing with me.
One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
I say one day,
God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
see how they don't burn our house, they burn some rest, oh, mommy. Oh, see how we begin the day they go school. Mommy the day for bush, oh. Papa the day they walk again, no. Who go feed our picking there?
One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
I say one day,
God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
picking dead did die, yo. Mommy then did die, yo. Brother, oh, United Nations, just to lock him up, eh. Politician them, oh. Daddy send his soldier, oh, daddy, eh. Forgive your brother. Who go hear this story, eh? One day, God go hear one prayer, oh, daddy, eh. One day, oh,
God go hear our prayer.
I say one day,
God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
merci Yves Kemayo, el manager. Tu as cru à moi. L'Éternel est mon berger, je ne manquerai de rien. Gloire à Dieu, Maximo, champion.
One day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
I say one day,
God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer.
Janju Foundation, espoir des enfants démunis, caravane Père Noël.
One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy, one day, oh, God go hear our prayer. One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy.
As people were singing in the bushes, in the gutters, know that really I'm tossed. That's why if I had to shed my tears, I would really shed it that God the Almighty should
Daddy was shot in the head a year ago. You are the only one that I depend on. At this I know you cannot let me down.
Nothing know the waka. People just to suffer. Picking them for bush. Papa put your hands on me. They want know the waka. Sibolo know the waka. Before it gets too late, Papa put your hands on me.
for Okada, yeah. Every day we just the mark time, yeah. Sec.Chris. Why some people just the ambo, other people get me sample, people dying on the front door, Sec.Chris.
Yeah. Popcorn day, Kona Kumba road on block. Go for the one no student inside the school block. Come up along on Mondays if you enter shop. Freedom of speech now for the week, so who be you for talk? Since they getting us now, we just see my family they push out 2 years now, but we never see. But I'm very full of refugees, but no day, no peace. Papa God, rescue your people, please. My man become along yesterday, so some people catchy. I don't know who be catchy, but I know say they be lashy. We don't know who be the enemy. We dey in stress and pain overseas. Show us a remedy.
Nothing know the waka. People just to suffer. Picking them for bush. Papa put your hands on me. They want know the waka. Sibolo know the waka. Before it gets too late, Papa put your hands on me.
We are no fools on the hill. My people are no fools on the hill. You must let my people go, so we can roam from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands, so we can rule our purpose land. I wanna know who owns the land. Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. nation. What a wonder. Since the time of sun and sun, since the time of moon and stars, since the time of air and sea, since the time of men and things, we must run from Cape to Cairo, and then must move our promised land. Oh! Okay now I want to talk to my people. Now we are the first group. On the Femo, London. I'm not Femo, London. Oh, Palimu, Yagura, Baba. Oh, Palimu, just Yarako. Oh, Palimu, Yarako.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABC Amber Television Live, coming to you from the great state of Texas, in the USA. It's always a privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to come to you every moment that I can afford to serve you through this television channel for the revolution. I want to welcome all of you, especially on ground zero, all of you on ground one, and every refugee, every Amazonian refugee in the diaspora. There are some of you in China, some in Dubai, some in the United Arab Emirates, some in Mexico. The Americans call it, the Spanish call it Mexico. That's a repronunciation of Mexico. We call it Mexico, but the repronunciation is Mexico. All right, so all of you Amazonian refugees out there in Mexico, I want to welcome all of you in Canada, in all of sub-Saharan Africa. I want to welcome all of you, and thanks for tuning in as usual. Of course, all of you right here on the social media, on YouTube, watching simultaneously on YouTube and on Facebook. I'd like to welcome all of you, and I like to say good evening, a very, very good one. Again, I am excited every time I have the opportunity to come to you with updates about this revolution. As usual, I will expect you to go on your share button, get on your share button quickly, hit that share button to invite others, let them know the anchor man is here. I didn't announce it. Most of the time I may not be announcing this anymore. I think most of you know the days that I come on. So please go ahead, hit your share button. We're going to be talking about a few things today, but exciting things to talk about. So please, if you want me to come to you as soon as possible with a presentation, go ahead, hit your share button Let everybody out there in the social media, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, wherever they may be, let them know I am here tonight to bring you information, not to curse you, not to call you names, but to bless you. I know I am a blessing. I have no doubt about that. So please hit your share button already. We have over 400 people, and I like the way those numbers are rising. So please, if you are just joining, you go ahead and hit your share button, invite others, let them populate this platform as soon as possible. Give me the regular 700 people for the start, and the rest can join at any time. I don't care about that. Just bring me 700 and let the rest join at any time. I shall be joined, ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes to come by Barrister Fru John Insot, and we shall have a lot to talk about. So again, go ahead and invite others to join the broadcast. Go ahead, invite others to join the broadcast. We are almost at 500 already. I love this. So please hit your share button. Let them know I am here at the moment to talk about the revolution, to talk about issues about the revolution, the state of the revolution. Please, as you do that, let me see who has joined already. Please hit your share button. Let these numbers not jump down. Pakas Lag Flamabad. Wow, what that sound Pakistani. I see Amber Derek. Say, the truthful barrister Fru. Yes, you are right, sir. Walter Chair. I see you, sir. Marie Louise. Okay, thanks for joining. Becky Awa. Okay, I know you, Becky. All right. AJ Succeed is always right here on the platform. Please hit your share button. I'm not going to waste time here tonight. So let's get this done quickly. Barnabas, is it Eno, something like that? I see your name. The names are spinning, rolling really fast. So don't worry if I can't call your name. This is not a GCE. So if I don't call your name, don't think that you failed the exam. You didn't fail the exam, okay? All right. George Asa. Okay, thanks for joining. Pa Aso. Okay. Let me see. My eyes are a little troubling. Olivia, again, always here. Barnabas, I mentioned this. Rono Fomo. I think so. I think it's Rono Fomo. I mean Shuri. All right. Peter Inso. Okay. El Harry in D4. I see you, sir. Great to see you. Okay. Thank you. George. Okay. I see also Akwaya Aya. All right. Please go ahead, hit your share button quickly. Let me take a few announcements. If I have a moment, I will come back to mention some of your names, call some of your names. I just want to remind you all out there, ladies and gentlemen, Ambazonians, listen to me very carefully. At the end of this broadcast, we would have had about 1,500 people watching live. About 1,500 people watching live, both on Facebook and on YouTube. I am not talking about ground zero. I am talking about just here on the social media platform. By the end of the broadcast, about 1,500 people would have been watching live. I mean live. Facebook alone, we have over 1,000. You go to YouTube, you have close to 500. So please, this is what I want to say. Just imagine if every one of you watching, would take a minute, get on ABC website, abcambertv.org, to just subscribe to become a club member, ABC club member, only for $5. You'll be doing a lot to get ABC to remain on the air. So please, I am appealing to all of you. Get on to abcambertv.org. Subscribe to become club members of ABC. I will really appreciate it. The only way we sustain ABC is if we pay the bills. If we can pay the bills. It is not easy, but you will agree with me. If ABC is shut down, Ground Zero is in trouble. Ground Zero is in trouble, and they will blame you. They will blame you here in the diaspora. I have had people calling me from Ground Zero and saying to me, Sec.Chris, I want to support ABC, but I don't know how to do it. How can I send money to ABC to support ABC? Unfortunately, there has just been no alternative for them on Ground Zero to do so. I have also had people calling to say, we want to enroll for the CID, compulsory independence dues. But again, that is from Ground Zero. Unfortunately, again, we have not had any alternative means to channel donations from Ground Zero or enrollment from Ground Zero. So everything, as far as this revolution is concerned, finances are concerned, it's about you and me here in the diaspora. Ground Zero is sacrificing already so much. Please let us sustain ABC. Don't come and sit on ABC and tell me how, oh, Sec.Chris, this is wonderful. Oh, Sec.Chris, this was wonderful. Sec.Chris, God bless you. You're the lion man. You give me all those titles, but you can't support this TV. Just imagine that. How many of you have registered? Please, after this show or during this show, you can log on to www.abcambertv.org, abcambertv.org, to register, to enroll to become a member of ABC Amber Club. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the only means by which we are able to sustain and keep ABC on the air. I really appreciate those of you who are about doing that. We cannot have over 1,000 people watching ABC just on the social media every week and cannot go in to chip their widow's mite. Please listen to my appeal. That is the only way we're going to sustain this television set. Thank you for listening to me. And I want to also remind all the club members. Now, there are club members who are not yet enrolled. There are club members who are not yet in the club, in the WhatsApp ABC Club Forum. Again, there are club members who are not yet in the ABC Club Forum. I am inviting you. That is where every ABC Club member belongs. You come in there, you will feel so comfortable. So it's a different forum, not like any other forum that you have out there. It's a special forum. So please, if you have not yet, if you are not yet admitted into the forum, please send us your number, drop me your number and your name. That is again for those who are registered member. If you are not a registered member, you cannot be admitted into the ABC Club WhatsApp forum. So if you are a member, if you are a registered member and you are not yet in the club forum, WhatsApp club forum, please send your number and your name for verification so we can add you into that club. All right, that is very, very important. Please go ahead, hit your share button. We have to hit that 700 number before I can come to you with this program proper. Now, this is very, very important. I just want to remind you too of the importance of the CID, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say something here. This is a very, very, very critical moment in this revolution. We are hearing of things about to change in Yaoundé. We're going to be talking about that. The transition that is right now, being planned in Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, why they plan, we must plan. Ignore all those fraudulent characters and lunatics who are going over television in La République du Cameroon and surrendering to them. Listen, La République is trying to send out a strong message. The other day, somebody said he is calling for a ceasefire. One of us said he is calling for a ceasefire. Now, this is what is going on. La République is capitalizing upon that. Now they are talking about reconstruction. Now they have some of the people you thought were with you now campaigning, talking about peace, singing peace. Now you have people who were so fraudulent in this revolution getting on Cameroon television and telling them how, oh, Paul Biya is their angel, how they sin against Paul Biya. Ladies and gentlemen, let's remember, in this business, there is something that is called a mind game. That is what is going on in La République. They want everybody on ground zero to believe that we are losing it. We are surrendering. We are laying down our arms. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to the sound of my voice. This interim government and other patriotic Amazonian leaders out there, they are not laying down their arms any day soon. Remember that word, until the last man standing, if need be. Until the last man standing, if need be. Nobody is laying down arms. It is not going to happen. Fongoji Dinka will not lay down arms. No, absolutely not. I don't think Bo Herbert will lay down arms. I don't think Akwanga will lay down arms, even though he made that mistaken so-called ceasefire. I don't see any genuine leader in this revolution laying down arms. So please, I'm appealing to ground zero. Ignore what La République is trying to do. It is called mind games. Mind game. They're playing over your mind, so you are psychologically defeated. You begin to give in. You begin to take whatever they offer you and say, oh, we missed it. It is not happening. We are not missing anything. We are standing strong. We will continue to stand strong. But the secret, ladies and gentlemen, is as Yaoundé plans their transition, we have to be ready. We have to plan. We have to prepare for the consequences of that transition. And the only way we plan is putting our funds together, getting our Amazonian restoration forces ready for any eventuality. We must seize upon every opportunity that shows up in La République du Cameroon to grab back our territory, grab back our country. That is what we are planning. Do not think the interim government is sleeping here. The interim government is not sleeping here, and we are determined that nothing shall come to us by surprise. Nothing will come to us by surprise from La République du Cameroon. We are receiving intelligence, we are working on that intelligence, we are planning on that intelligence, and any eventuality in La République du Cameroon, again, will not cut us unaware. Absolutely not. So please, I'm appealing to you, get out there, subscribe to the CID, pay your dues so that these funds can come in. These funds can come in for us to be ready for whatever happens in La République du Cameroon. On Friday, I shall be here for a very, very special presentation. I shall be here on Friday for a very, very special presentation. So I want you to take note of that. Again, that will be on Friday for a very, very eye-opening presentation. Take note. of that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And I want to thank those who have already contributed their $1,000 for the prison project. Again, we are very, very serious about that project. I will continue to appeal to those of you out there who can afford $1,000 to rescue our brothers and our sisters behind bars in Boya, behind bars in Bamenda. Please, if you can donate $1,000 towards that project, call me in the course of these broadcasts while I open the phones, or please send me a text message and say, Sec.Chris, I'd like you to call me, for my own contribution. So please, let's do so and free our brothers in jail who have done nothing. We've got to free them before coronavirus get to those prison buildings. Please, if you care about them, please, pick your phone, send me a message, or call me during this program and let me know that you can give him your $1,000. All right. So thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the broadcast. This is going to be very, very exciting. I'm going to start with what took place in Bamenda last week. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to start with what took place in Bamenda last week. Last week, we came to you, the interim government came to you, giving the colonial governor of Bamenda an ultimatum, essentially, asking him to release the motorbikes belonging to Ambazonians in Bamenda. The bikers also took to the streets when on the indigenous Ambazonians in the city of Bamenda, and taking them up station and the mayor's premises, offices in downtown Bamenda. We came out and demanded that the colonial governor releases those Okadas or motorbikes to the owners. The motorbiker or the Okada guys took to the street and protested. The first day they were prevented from getting up station Bamenda to talk to the governor, the colonial governor. The next day, when tension was high in the city and with a message from this interim government, the colonial governor decided to release those bikes. However, not without asking them to pay huge penalties, to which the motorbike riders stood up to that colonial administration. The colonial administration was asking them to pay $90,000 each for some frivolous documents that must be made. And they also demanded that the Okada guys must paint their Okadas into yellow colors, as we'll find in taxis everywhere. They had a meeting, and then they had a meeting with the governor. And the governor and his administrators demanded that they change the colors of every bike in the city, every motorbike in the city, into yellow. But one courageous biker stood up and told them to their face. He said to them, when your officials leave Yaoundé, come to Bamenda with their matriculation numbers, CA. They changed the plate. They changed the plate to read Northwest, just afraid that the restoration forces may go after them. So the guy asked them, how would you want us? Why would you want us? If you can't maintain just your plate numbers when you travel or move from Yaoundé to Bamenda, why would you want us to change the color of our motorbikes or bikes to yellow? You are subjecting us to unnecessary targeting by the rogues out there. So the bikers stood their ground and they moved from there to, oh, everybody has to put down 90,000 francs for some frivolous documentations. The bikers refused, they rejected that also. And then at the end of the day, I am told that the fine was reduced to 40,000 for some documentation, and the bikes, the motorbikes, were released to the rightful owners. However, quite a number of those motorbikes were not found. They were not returned to the owners because they were nowhere to be found. Some have actually been traced in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Bafoussam, and in Mbunda, sold there by the military and transported there, we learn, by Amu Mezam. Amu Mezam. That is what they do. So, we want to congratulate the Okada Association out there in the city of Bamenda. But we want them to know it is not over yet. Every single motorbike that was impounded by the colonial administration in Bamenda must be returned. And if it was a new one, it should be returned new. And we do not want you to go to the governor, take anything, any amount of money that doesn't afford you a new bike. Nothing short of that. You go there, they give you money that is not enough to afford a new bike. Please do not take it, but demand that your bike be restored to you. It is your right, and nobody must trample upon them. So demand for nothing less than your new bike. And we hope that the governor is listening and his administration, they are listening. Those boys will not fall short of getting their new bikes back. They will get them back. This is the message we want the colonial administration in Bamenda to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me again in the studio on set the one and only barrister John Fru, and so who is joining me from the great state of Maryland. Barrister Fru, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. I can hear you 5 on 5.
I think there is something wrong with your camera there. There is a huge delay. If your position there is not where you are, can you log out, log in again, please, as quickly as you can. There's a delay there that I can see on your video. Yes, log out, log back in. I see there is a delay there with your video, not with your voice. So please quickly do that while I talk about this other subject, please. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, while we get Barrister John to join the broadcast, I want to talk about one other subject that is very, very important. Last week, we received information that our former president, Sisiku'S, Julius Ayoktabe, and three others, 2 lawyers, and one other person by the name of Penn Terrence, they were taken from their detention, not their cells, their prison rooms, to meet with, they call it in French, commissaire du gouvernement. I cannot pronounce that good enough, so please forgive me about that. So Sisiku'S and 3 others were picked up from their detention centers and taken to the office of the Yaoundé so-called commissaire du gouvernement. So I think I can see you now. Okay. You look good. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, Chris.
All right. It's a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So we are going to go into this straight. This is very, very important. First, let's get back to the subject of these bikers in the city of Bamenda. Their bikes were impounded, thousands of them. They held a protest. When up station Bamenda, they were blocked from climbing the hill to the governor's office. Then the next day, the governor called them for a meeting, I guess a few of them for a meeting, and they wanted to impose certain penalties on them. One of them being that they all have to pay in the form of some documentation 90,000 francs each. 90,000 francs each, again, for some frivolous documentations. The motorbikers stood their grounds and said they don't have the money. They're not going to pay that money. Another issue of contention was the changing of the colors of their motorbikes to yellow. They again stood their grounds and said, you are putting us in harm's way by asking us to change the color of our bikes. Your administrators, they said, your administrators come to Bamenda, they change their plate numbers to reflect northwest, just because they don't want to be identified by whosoever they are afraid of. But the point is that the bikers stood their grounds, and with our intervention from the interim government, the governor released those motorbikes. However, not all of them have been released as of date. What would you say to those motorbikers about that? I have just said that they should go for nothing less but their new bikes, because we know the bikes, the motorbikes, the ones that have been missing, they were all new motorbikes. We are saying they must not go for anything less than those new bikes. What is your take, sir?
Yes, they must not, because when those bikes were seized, they were placed under the custody of government.
Correct.
And anything that happened to any of those bikes, the government is responsible. Therefore, they must give them back. They must give the people who own the bikes their bikes. Those new bikes have been sold by the colonial governor to his family, to his people in Bunda, to his people in Bakusam, and as far as Yaoundé and Douala. He must produce those bikes. There are no two ways.
Now, what do you think? What is your take on this idea of having the motorbikers to change the color of their bikes, of their Okada, into the taxi color, yellow?
Well, you gave a proper explanation. When they leave Yaoundé, you see they get somewhere in Bunda, they change it into NW, and the only reason is so that they should not be targeted. Why do they want the bikes to be targeted? Why do they want the bike riders to be targeted? These are young people who are struggling to make a living. And if you look at the law on motor transportation in Cameroon, there is no provision for bikes below a certain weight for registration. So what are they talking about? Those bikes have been there for ages. Why now? Why Bamenda? They don't have any backing of the law. The money they are asking is illegal.
Now you will remember, Barrister John, that this exercise was carried out in the first place to profile indigenous Amazonians bike riders from francophone immigrant bike riders in the city of Bamenda. I think this issue is still very, very critical and very, very important, that something should be done to be able to figure out who is actually a bike rider in the city of Bamenda. And when I say something, I mean within us. at least the Okada organization, they need to know by now who is riding Okada in the city of Bamenda, because we are now realizing these are the spies in that city.
That's why I am calling on the Bike Riders Association to register their members and to know who are those riding bikes in Bamenda. Majority of them now riding bikes in Bamenda, from the information I have, are Francophones. Francophone bikes were never touched. So the idea was to profile our people, seize their bikes, and let Francophones replace them, and so that they can depopulate us and populate the Francophone population in Bamenda. It's not going to work. Lele Lafrique has started a fight that he cannot win. We have to fight it to the end. Like we fight everything, we must fight to the last man standing. Let him do whatever he wants to do. Those bikes that are missing must be produced.
What message would you pass to the mayor of Bamenda, who is an accomplice in this exercise?
I don't know who elected him mayor of Bamenda.
I'm sorry, I don't know how call him colonial governor.
I don't know how the Meta man became a mayor of Bamenda town.
That is very, very strange. Not only that, you have Francophones in the city of Bamenda acting as mayors. The same thing in Moyoka, you have Francophone as a mayor of Moyoka. Think about it.
Yes.
Victoria is the same thing. I think the mayor of Victoria is a Francophone.
That is what is happening. And I hope that our people are taking note. None of them was elected. So the people of Bamenda should not accept a mayor that was never elected by them. I don't know why they are still keeping him up to now. They should have run him out of town by now.
But the good thing is that the restoration forces are actually doing their job. They are slowly but surely going after these colonial administrators, so-called elected mayors, whereas we know they are actually appointed. But that is what is happening. The other day, I think I saw, was it in Nwa? One was taken out. A number have actually been taken out. It is something we want the restoration forces in both northern and southern zone to engage in until those people leave. Maybe get back to Yaoundé where they belong, to La Republic where they belong, because no Ambazonian elected them.
That's why I'm calling on all the restoration forces in Mezam, in Momo, and in Gokutunya to make sure that they target any of those enablers who became mayors without being elected. There was no election in the northern zone or the southern zone. How come we have more mayors? Who appointed those mayors? They should go after them. I will leave it as such, because I trust that the restoration forces will do their job.
Now, let's move to this other subject. I am sure, of course, you are well versed with what is taking place in Yaoundé. Before I brought you in, I was trying to introduce this other subject, talking about the taking of Sisiku'S, removal of Sisiku'S from Kondenge Central Principal Prison and Center Prison to visit one commissaire de gouvernement. I don't know whether that's the way they pronounce it. Now, tell me, first of all, what is commissaire de gouvernement in English?
He's a military prosecutor.
Oh, so he's a prosecutor.
The military prosecutor.
Okay.
Military.
All right. So
now
we are told that they send their messengers to pick up Sisiku'S, two other lawyers, plus Penn Terrence, to the office of this prosecutor at around 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. I think that was Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday? One of those days. They picked them at 6:30 p.m. and then brought them back at around a little after 9 or so. Now, Yerima had sent out a statement to the effect that Sisiko and the others were essentially abducted, and he was sending a scare out there. And people were a little bit concerned as to what this is all about. But of course, some of us will have sources in those prisons, in that facility, and we were able to find out exactly what it was about. Now, the point is, when Sisiko returned at around 9 p.m. that same evening, he sent out a message to the effect that they were just invited to the prosecutor's office to be explained why they were not called for their appeal. They were not called for their appeal. Now, I have called this the second lie, the second secret that Sisiko, I guess, is hiding from the Amazonian people, and we must be we must say this without mincing words. For when you have a leader whom you cannot trust, who cannot look you in the eyes and tell you the truth, one must be very, very concerned. The first was the Naira 10, the Naira incident. Every one of you know that as of today, nobody has an idea what the meeting in Naira Hotel was all about. Not even me, your communication secretary, I have no idea what that meeting was about. Of course, they will want you to believe. They told all of us, including Chris, what the meeting was about. No, we were never told what that meeting was about. We were told exactly how they were arrested or abducted and taken to Naira Hotel. All the driving around the city, all the intimidation you could imagine. That we were told everything that happened on the day of their arrest. We were told that the meeting was called to discuss refugees. But all of them in there, they all have different stories. Shufai tells a different story as to what Naira Hotel was about. Sisiko tells a different story as to what Naira was about. Nalowabi tells a different story as to what Naira Hotel was about. And there are a whole lot of them in there who do not even know what Naira was about. And now we have a second incident. Sisiko and 3 others are invited by the prosecutor on Friday or last Friday at 6:30 in the night. In the night, they come back, and the narration is we were invited to be explained the reason for which we did not go to court. They did not take us to court. Now, Barrister Fru, you have been a lawyer in that, a senior one in that case in that country for years. You will be called a veteran lawyer in that country. Tell me the first time that French Cameroon administration would invite detainees or prisoners into their office at night only to tell them the reason why they did not go for their appeal. When did that happen before?
It has never happened, Chris. Let me tell you exactly what happened. When an adjournment is supposed to be made, it is published on the notice board both in prison and the courts. And the various lawyers are informed. There is no way that you can go to prison and pick up prisoners, take them to your office just to inform them about a court date. It has never happened. Sisiko is lying. Let me tell you what my take is all about.
Okay.
I have read very carefully the letter from Dr. Tita Mutakwi.
Right.
I have also read everything concerning Sisiko's and the 4 others. Let's look at the composition of those who went for that meeting. Sisiko, Sufai Berinui, Barrister Yambe, and Penteres, who is not part of the Naira 10. Penterens already serving a jail term. These four, 2 from the northern zone and 2 from the southern zone, they are not telling us why they went, why they took them in the middle of the night to do. I am suspecting that either they've already signed the documents or they were still negotiating. But I would suspect if I listen to what I have heard over the social media, which may not be true, it looks like they have already signed a document.
Now, before we get to whatever document it is, wouldn't procedure entail that if they needed to speak to Sisiku'S and other prisoners, they would have to pass through his attorneys, or failing which Sisiku'S would have to say, you know what, I cannot meet you without my attorneys.
Exactly. And not only that, that notice of adjournment was supposed to be placed on the notice board in prison, so that every prisoner who has a case in court will see that that matter will not be coming up. Secondly, the attorney who is in charge of a particular client must be informed that his client is being moved for so and so reason. There is no reason for the prosecutor to go to prison with a series of gendarmes and pick up prisoners and take to his office at such an ungodly hour. What was it all about? Those 4 people must tell us the truth.
Now, again, that is why I say that is a second secret that Sisiku'S and the team that went there are not telling us, just as in the case of the NERA meeting. Up to today, we have no idea what they were doing, what the agenda of NERA hotel meeting was. And this one, they are taken at 6:30 in the night, brought back at 9 o'clock, and they come back and tell us it was just a reminder meeting. They are not still telling us what exactly their discussion was. Now, Penterens is in a different cell. He is not in principal prison where Sisiku'S and others are. Penterens is not a member of the NERA 10. How come they will take somebody else who is not a member of the NERA 10 to join Sisiku'S to go and meet a prosecutor? And I'm also told that Penterens does not have any appeal pending. As far as we know, only the appeal for the NERA 10 is pending. Am I wrong?
Yes. And there is no reason to go and take Penterens, who is already serving a jail term, to go for an adjournment that does not concern him. They had an agenda. They wanted to balance the northern zone and the southern zone. So they took one of their accomplices from the central prison, who is Penterens, and added to, of course, the people they have been dealing with. They've gone, I don't know what they went there for. Either they are negotiating something or they have already finished negotiating. Only those 4 will be able to tell us why they left, why they were taken. And for more than 2.5 hours to 3 hours, what were they doing in the prosecutor's office? Sisiku'S comes and lies that they are just informing them about why there was no court case. Why would they not pass that information through the prison authorities? Why would they not put those information on the notice board where lawyers can read and see that their case is not coming up? This is very unusual. They can tell all the lies they want to tell to the dogs. I know that it can never happen.
Now tell me, when a security official or a security team goes into the prison to pick up any prisoner, does he need his consent? Is it not a matter of saying, follow me? You got to go with me to somewhere. Now, I'm saying this because Tarzan was asked to join them. Tarzan Wilfred was asked to join them. Tarzan said he was not going on account of his health, whatever he was sick of. In fact, not only this, they went to Sisiku'S and said, please, can you ask Tarzan to join you? Sisiku'S said, go send somebody to go talk to him. Instead of them going to talk going to ask Tarzan to join them, they sent somebody to go talk to him to join them. Isn't it also procedurally wrong?
Yes, Chris, let me tell you, once a person is already serving a jail term, even if he has a court case, before you come after the court station to come and take him out of prison, you must seek his consent. And before he gives you that consent, he must talk to his lawyer. Listen, these are things that were planned. They thought that Sisiku'S would be able to convince Mr. Tarzan, but that didn't work out. So they had to go for their accomplice, who is in the central prison called Penterence, to make sure that the formula is balanced. 2 from the northern zone and 2 from the southern zone. Let those 4 tell us what they were doing in the prosecutor's office for 2.5 to 3 hours. Let them stop. Sisiku'S cannot tell such a white lie so openly. Of course, he's known for being a liar. He has not told us what he was doing in Naira Hotel. For the 9 months that I was there, I did everything to get that information out of him. I couldn't. So, it is the same lie continuing. It will come out one day, Chris. It will come out one day. There's no way that he can get himself out of that.
Of course it will. Now, there are allegations that that meeting with the prosecutor was with also other government officials in Yaoundé, high-ranking government officials from the presidency in Yaoundé, and that the meeting was about having Sisiku'S to agree to sign a document agreeing to work with the new French Cameroon leader who will emerge, whoever that person is. We are hearing of Frank Biya, but we are told that this meeting was about that. What have you heard, sir?
What I have heard, and listened on, in Yaoundé now has a lot of fake videos all over the place.
That is very true, and that is why, again, we are not saying that is official truth. We are calling it an allegation.
Yes, there are a lot of fake videos out in the whole place. Some are saying that they have signed a federation pact with Frank Biya. I don't believe that, and I don't know. I cannot substantiate that because I don't have any evidence to that effect. But the fact of the matter is, it is true that when they got to the prosecutor's office, they met top-ranking government officials. Look at the events, Chris. There was a fake decree signed releasing prisoners.
Correct.
And our people were specifically excluded.
Right. I have not seen a single Ambazonian that was released
under
that decree.
Yes, they were specifically excluded under the terrorism law. Secondly, Kamto's people were specifically excluded. And thirdly, those people who embezzle money were specifically excluded. So these 4 people that went to the prosecutor's office, from what I'm hearing, they met a barrage of government officials, including the state prosecutor, the military prosecutor. And I don't know, let Sisiku'S and his friends come out clean and tell us what is the deal. If they don't tell us, we know that they have committed us to something that we don't know about. But the truth will come out, just like the Naira 10 truth is coming out bit by bit.
I think you are very correct. I think Sisiku'S must not present himself to be seen as consistently holding secrets away, very, very important things away from Ambazonians. Naira is still there again, and this one now is hanging. If he wants to be the leader that he wants Ambazonians to believe he is, he must be openly coming out and telling the people, hey, I had this meeting with French Cameroon officials. This is what they suggested. This was my response. Until we begin to hear those kind of confessions, I think he is just messing up his reputation from event to event. But let's look at this. If it is true that they were invited there to sign some documents, or forget about signing documents, to discuss some form of governance, and then they invited Patasang before he refused, do you think that narrative would hold water? Because they know, French Cameroon officials know, Tasang would not go for anything short of a free and independent Ambazonia. So they wouldn't even mind putting him on the table.
The invitation of Patasang was a smokescreen. They knew they didn't want him. That's why he was not forced out. They knew that he would be of no use to them. That's why they went for their accomplice, who is their man, Terence, in the central prison, to make the balance. 2 from the northwest, 2 from the northern zone, 2 from the southern zone. And I'm telling you, Chris, there is something cooking that these 4 people must tell us. I know they will never be able to tell us, but one day it will come out.
Now let me ask you, as an analyst, where is Kamto in all of this picture, assuming that La Republique wants to work with Sisiku'S and his team and a new regime to govern that country? What becomes of Kamto? Because Kamto has all along been grandstanding, campaigning out there for Sisiku'S, and Sisiku'S writing apology letters to him. Where does Kamto come in this?
Look, Kamto has done one thing. He has written to the National Assembly and the Bureau of the National Assembly to get to the Constitutional Council to declare a vacancy in the presidency. That letter went out to the National Assembly, and up to now that I'm talking to you, no response. Kamto is of no consequence as of now, because the gray that the French are arranging in Yaoundé, Kamto's name is missing in the mix. We don't know what is cooking. We don't know what is happening. All I know is that Mr. Biya is no longer living. And the French have.
So you are not convinced with with the drama you saw in Yaoundé?
No, that's a drama. That's a drama. You call it drama, but that is a clear drama.
Yeah,
that is a clear drama. Every analyst in the world has condemned it as a drama.
I have had CRTV reporters say to me, Chris, no CRTV journalist was there. That video footage was sent, forwarded to them, to the studio. No CRTV reporter cameras were at that event, if it ever took place. They are saying to me the footage was forwarded to them to slot on the TV.
And I think I will believe that journalist, because an event like that taking place in the presidency, there must be a CRTV camera. Correct. There must be a CRTV camera so that they can report the news. Look, all that was cooked up by the French ambassador. And if you notice, Chris, the arrival of the French ambassador in a Japanese car is unheard of. No French diplomat will ride in a Japanese car officially.
Well, that is, I will not consider that. You know that these ambassadors, these diplomats, when they go out, the cars they use depends on the terrain. Okay. So I would not be surprised that he has or he uses a Japanese car, knowing how bad our terrain is.
Well, I am telling you that all that was cooked up. All that was a drama. There was no such meeting. There was no such diplomatic move. Okay, there is a professor in France who called the French embassy, the political division of the French embassy, and he was told that there was no such diplomatic activity in the presidency of the Republic, and that it was fake news. And it is the same professor now that has issued a petition for France to withdraw its diplomat from Yaoundé. And that petition is
let me tell you something. I have actually spoken with some top diplomats in Yaoundé and asked them if that meeting took place, and they told me the meeting took place.
They told you the meeting took place.
Diplomats in Yaoundé. I mean, really top diplomats in Yaoundé.
Well, top in what sense? Are they Cameroonians?
I'm sorry?
Are they Cameroonians?
No, they're not Cameroonians.
That meeting took place with Biya?
Yes. That a French ambassador was actually had that meeting with Biya.
Come on, Chris. Look at the man who was masked. That's a French diplomat, right?
Yeah.
And then the older man who is vulnerable to coronavirus was not masked. That is normal to you.
Well, the truth eventually comes out. There is no way it gets hidden forever.
I have read all the analysis of these specialists in photography, and they are all saying it was a cooked up procedure orchestrated by a French ambassador, because he went to the presidency alone and pretended that such a meeting took place, which never did. So that's why Cameroonians in Europe are asking the French to withdraw the ambassador, because he's a liar, he's a cheat, and he should not have done that.
So what
they know that there's a vacancy in the presidency.
If indeed it is true that La République is interested in some form of alliance with Sisiku'S, and no, let me not put it that way. If it is indeed true that A2D is interested in some alliance with Sisiku'S, and the Kamto is interested in some alliance with Sisiku'S, should we call it a scramble for Sisiku'S or what?
Look, both of them are looking for a way out of our revolution.
Correct.
They are trying to destroy our revolution. Both of them. And both of them want to use Sisiku'S. And they are succeeding at it. I don't know. I mean, when I mean succeed in using him.
Yes.
But that they will succeed in killing our revolution is a fat lie. Sisiku'S represents nobody. It's a common criminal. Let him stay where he is.
Now, talking about destroying the revolution, I am sure you are beginning to witness the drama, I call it drama, that is going on in La République, where you have our own. Look at, you saw what happened yesterday over Afrique.
Oh, yes.
The cacophony over there with those comedians sitting over there and pleading with Biya to forgive them. Then you have this so-called activists who have become peace, so-called peace ambassadors, people who were screaming on top of their voices against La République yesterday, they have all turned to become peace ambassadors, and they are rushing to their TV stations to plead that Mr. Biya forgives them and that their colonial prime minister give their own little chunk of the divide. What would you say? What can you say? I mean, you know what they are trying to do, right? They are trying to get ground zero to feel like this thing is getting over, right?
That is what they are trying to do, but they think that ground zero is stupid. Ground zero is more intelligent than most of them think. Those are enablers. People like Santos have always been enablers. People like So Frontier have always been enablers. When you see them on television in Cameroon, begging the Cameroon government for forgiveness and so on and so on and so on.
I mean, these are guys who mean nothing to an average Ambazonian out there. And they are there posturing as if this revolution all depended on them at one point or the other. Yet these are the same guys who ate this, my trip to Boyamone. Let Foncha challenge me if I am wrong. And the Santos and so on. They want Ambazonians to believe that the revolution is over.
Look, this revolution is God ordained. They can do whatever they want to do. They can cry on Cameroon television for all I care. We know that they are enablers and they will end up enablers. They have excluded themselves from Ambazonia. I hope that they only take residence in Yaoundé or Douala. They don't move into our territory. Otherwise, they are history.
Now, I know that most of the listeners out there would want me to talk about the other lie that was the breaking news. I'm sure you heard it, the breaking news, the fake news that was put out there today by one of the irrelevant activists about Field Marshal. I don't have to talk about that because there's nothing to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But we want you to know. You should begin to know who is. I am shocked to see how many people rush to go and listen to a guy who is a pathological liar. A pathological liar, and they were rushing to please. I don't want to talk about it because it is not worth it, but we should not be ignorant of what these guys are trying to do on ground. It is about ground zero. It's about ground zero. They want to get ground zero to give up on this revolution. I hope that ground zero is beginning to know who are their true leaders. Let me say something before I get back to you, Barrister John. Ladies and gentlemen, this revolution, the leaders that matter in this revolution are not those who started the revolution. What matters in this revolution as far as leaders are concerned is not when they came into the revolution. It's not when they started the revolution activism. It is not where they end. Sorry, it is not where they started. It is where they end and how they end it. And of course, you can tell we are beginning to see a sifting of men from women as far as leadership in this revolution is concerned. And what we saw yesterday in Afrique media was a great example. Am I wrong with that?
No, you are not. The whole world saw that those comedians on Afrique media. We saw all their display, all their crocodile tears. Let them go and cry to those who will listen to them. I am passing this warning to the two of them. They should now take up residence in Yaoundé or Douala. They should not cross into the territory. Let them not make the mistake of crossing anywhere into the territory. Or if they are here in America, I don't know how I don't know how. Maybe some of them are American citizens. I would not know, but they now know that they are wanted by us.
Now, what is very surprising is that Santos supposed to be the vice chairman of Sisiku'S Restoration Council.
Is there a restoration council, Chris?
Well, according to what we know, I mean that's the title he goes by, right?
Yeah, that's the title that Sisiko gave him. And the question that I asked Sisiko is, where is your restoration council? You hold look at Sisiko. He holds a Zoom conference, a town conference on a Zoom from prison. Oh, come on, man. In which prison in the world can you have that kind of facility?
Now, talking about those town hall conferences, so-called international town hall conferences or dark town hall conferences, whatever name they give it. I don't know whether you have seen the trend in those town hall meetings. All that is discussed in those town hall meetings is how to bring the IG down, is how to bring ABC down, is how to bring Sako down, is how to bring Anu down. And in fact, I see them saying it's time that Sako should die. It's time that Sako should die. I mean, are these people who are interested in constructing a new nation? They hold this kind of meetings with hundreds of people and they cannot discuss idea, vision. All they do is discuss personalities.
La Republic is paying them to do the job. Even the enabler who went on the air to say that Field Marshal is arrested, he was doing his job so that he can earn his salary. All those liars, all those idiots, they will answer to history. But all I can say is that Sisiko and others have reached the end of the road. But before they actually get to the end, let the four of them tell us another story. Not the white lie that Sisiko came back and told. Let them tell us why the meeting in the prosecutor's office with senior government officials.
Let me ask you, Barrister John, if you were to assure ground zero, ground one, and all those refugees out of the country that they should know that the revolution is on course, that all that they see on television is cacophony, is fraud, to reassure ground zero that everything is okay, what would you say?
Chris, I take this opportunity to address our comrades in ground zero. Let them know that the revolution is on course and that we are watching very closely what is happening in Yaoundé, and we will act according to what is happening in Yaoundé. That the revolution is on course and that this year may be a breakthrough for all of us, and that everybody should hold tight and continue to work towards our independence. There is no problem. All those enablers you see crying on television are actors that have been hired by La Republique of Cameroon. Don't trust anybody like Santos or Soap Puncher. Those are the people who have eaten the My Trip to Boya money. They have now taken to another platform to tell La Republique to excuse them. Well, I am informing all of us that this revolution is a God-ordained revolution and that it is on course and we will get to the end. Thank you very much.
And what would you also say to ground zero when they, because I know we're gonna have more people like those you saw on Afric Media yesterday. We're gonna have more of them. They are coming up by the day. What should we say to Ground Zero when we have more and more coming up?
All I would say is that our restoration forces have a job to do.
Okay.
Anybody should watch. They should be watching at Afric Media. They should be watching at CRTV. They should be watching at any of those francophone television stations. If they see any of us sitting there and crying and asking for excuse, that would be a legitimate target. So I'm telling our people that as long as our restoration forces are on the ground, as long as they are doing the work to protect them, they should have no fear.
What would you say to the restoration forces?
I would tell the restoration forces to be alert and take out any enabler that sets foot on our territory. I mean, take out.
All right, great. I'm going to open the phones for a few minutes. Let's see what Ambazonians have to say about these issues we are discussing here. You got the lines open, ladies and gentlemen. You can call in any moment and make a contribution, ask a question that you may have. So go ahead, make the phone call, ask any question that you may have. Okay, let me see. And this is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. I put out a note. Was it? I think that was late night yesterday. One of the ways, one of the fronts in this revolution now is the social media. I have observed one thing. All these detractors, peace ambassadors, lot of public agents, they put out their footages, their videos, their audios, and have us sharing them, circulating them. How can that be? My appeal to every one of you out there is, go through your friends list. Anybody there with a profile that you do not recognize, put out that person. Watch your timelines. Any footage, any audio, any post that is critical, that does not promote the revolution, just go about and desubscribe the profile or the person. That is one front we have to take now, and take it very, very seriously. They cannot be producing their anti-revolution propaganda, and we are the ones spreading it, sharing it. I don't need to know what they are saying if it does not promote the revolution. That is important. All right. Barrister John, if you have anything to add there, please. Let me see who is calling here. All right. Hello, sir.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, Sec.Chris. I don't know. I wish to ask, is there the contribution for the prison stuff, is it still going on?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. It is still going on. You can drop me a message and I will call you back. If you...
Well, I'm very busy. I'm a pilot and I don't really have time. I'm about taking a flight now. I have an emergency. I don't know if you can write to me then. I will see how to send the money.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I will get back to you then. I will call you then. All right, we lost that caller, but thank you very, very much for that wonderful donation you are making for our prisoners. Okay, let me see. I can get to the next caller. I can get to the next caller. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good evening, Sec.Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling in from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Austria.
Austria. Wow. Thanks for calling. What is your contribution, sir?
Yeah. First, I will start by saying I thank you for always informing our people, and I want to also thank our able barrister Fu Johnson, for always passing out the true information. Then also I just Tapan just made a statement, so I want to plead with you that they should tell Field Marshal not to make a video. So Tapan will not make Field Marshal to come out to make a video. So let him, because he said if Field Marshal know he's a general, let him make a video and the next day he will be taken out. Field Marshal will not do a video. That is the talk of a child. So he will not make our general to take a video.
You see, I am really amazed that that gentleman will be asking Field Marshal that if he's a general, he should make a video. But so I thought he is the owner of Field Marshal, the Red Dragons.
Right? Then also, I would also like to thank our President Sako, for him not to make any comment for all those who are sabotaging him, all those cheap activists. What those activists are going through, there's no a psychological beating. That's our president is beating them psychologically. You know, when you talk something and somebody don't respond, that's the worst beating that someone will ever face.
Absolutely.
So let him keep silent.
Okay.
So let him just be silent. For example, there are so many activists that criticize Donald Trump. You don't expect Donald Trump to come out and be shouting to those activists. So if the president don't answer you, then consider yourself as you are not important. So
absolutely.
Dr. Sako to be coming out and be answering all activists. It's not possible.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Barrister John.
Hey, Chris, let me tell you. Field Marshal is Field Marshal of Ambazonia. Not even me here or you, Chris, can order Field Marshal to do whatever. Not to talk of Tapang Ivo, a renegade pizza deliver in somewhere, I don't know whether New York or California, wherever it is, asking our Field Marshal to make a video. For what? They want to use
what surprises me is
they want to use it to track him. And
we know that. Again, what surprises me is the fact that this young guy who has been a fraud all the time that we've known him in this revolution actually raised funds and said he was the owner and the commander-in-chief of Field Marshal and the Red Dragons. And yet he is today saying, oh, let him dare out. I thought you should be making a phone call to him and saying, hey, can you make a statement?
Oh, Lord.
All right. Let me get the next caller. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Sec.Chris.
Hello.
This is Supreme. Hello, Sec.Chris.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Supreme calling from Belgium. Sec.Chris, I want to say that it's a big pleasure listening to you people and listening to Barrister Fu Johnson analyzing the political stuff and the legal issue for Ambazonian. We cannot thank you people enough. We just want to encourage you people for this great job you are rendering to the Ambazonian people. Then, you know, these guys, they always go on air to misinform our gullible and ignorant Ambazonian. So I want to beg you people not to relent your effort to come out all the time to always sensitize our people about the truth that what people are doing now. It's very important for us. Some of us are able to see the lies in between the lines, but some people are very ignorant and gullible. So you people should never ever get tired coming out, even repeating the same thing and informing our people. So my last point here is the IG is the way and the light of this our revolution. If the IG falls, the revolution is over. I want to beg you, I am on my knee. No matter what pains you people, please, you people should not allow this IG to fall. IG is the life of Amazonia. Without IG would have long, Amazonia would have, a story would have long ended. So my last point here is that I am part of the Kumba LGA, and on your screen, I think on your screen it is pinned there, join Kumba LGA on a certain WhatsApp number. So I want to take advantage to advertise the Kumba LGA to the people following you there. If the Kumba people are there, the Kumba push follower, they should join us so that together in our LGA, we can persecute this war to a logical end. LGAs are very transparent, and we want to thank IG for bringing this idea, because we do our own thing there every weekend. Everything is transparent. You ask every question, you will have it there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Barrister John, this LGA by LGA, county by county is what is serving this revolution. Am I wrong?
It is the best thing that ever happened to this revolution. And those are the commanders on the ground. Those are our people on the ground. The IG, I want to assure the speaker that the IG will never fall. The IG will take this revolution till we get to Boya. Let nobody deceive you. We have an able president. He doesn't respond to all these enablers. He will never respond. He is doing his job. So rest assured that the IG will never fall. Also rest assured that the LGAs and county to county will always be there. And they will provide the defense we need. The National Security Council is there. So don't be worried. The revolution is on track. We will continue to bring this information to you at all times. Don't be deceived by those enablers crying on television in Cameroon. Let them know that their life in Amazonia is over. They should not set foot anywhere in Amazonia. I'm talking more especially to So Poncha, who may want to go to Manfe. I'm talking more especially to Santos, who may want to go to Nkwen, because he cannot be allowed to pass through Matazen. Our restoration forces are waiting for them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you start all over, because the microphone was down. It wasn't picking.
Okay, the microphone was down. I was trying to reassure the caller.
I'm so excited about the presentation of this evening between you and our able barrister. If I have never been so motivated with what the interim government is doing, what I have seen today clearly shows that we, the interim government, is for the people and will be for the people. If Amazonians have been discouraged, they will see it clearly that the interim government is there for the people. Why do I say so? The things that have happened in the days past between between the guy that went down to Ground Zero on CRTV and Dr. Santos, John Foncha. These are people that have claimed to be part of the interim government.
Correct.
And they were welcome. And along the line, they were not trusted. They were kicked out, and they came making noise up and down. And at the end of the day, where have they found themselves? In the dungeons of La Republique. And what are they doing there? Confessing of how Cameroon may be one, and this all around the corner, still going back to the one Cameroon agenda that has been propagated by infiltrators. This clearly shows that the fact that the interim government worked very hard that this guy should be kicked out from the interim government shows that we are gradually taking out the sheep and the wolves, separating them.
Yeah, we're separating the sheep and the wolves are being separated. Absolutely.
They are being separated, Chris. And this is just a clear message to our viewers that the interim government is working. And just the one plea that I want to give. If there is a possibility that a video, for instance, what Dr. Santos and the other goat went saying over the TV can be broadcasted. Maybe most of us don't just listen to you now, but we do not really know what they did. If there was a possibility that you can bring maybe a shot of this video for people to see, and you try to illustrate. Look at people with whom we were working together as part of the interim government. People were on the way to Boya together, and we worked hand in glove with them. But what has happened? They left us along the way. So do you have to judge for yourself?
All right, absolutely. You are very, very correct. And again, on Friday, I will do a very, very special presentation on this subject. I hope you all tune in. Thanks for the call, sir. Barrister John, you have something to add there?
Yes, I was going to assure the callers that the interim government is waxing strong and that the interim government is there and will lead us to Boya. That the county to county and LGA to LGA was the best thing that happened to this revolution. The interim government was decentralized, and our commanders on the ground are being controlled by the LGAs and the counties. And secondly, the National Security Council is on the ground. So let's be assured that we are on the right track. Our restoration forces are up to the task. Let nobody doubt that. All those enablers that go on La Republique television and cry, I don't know what they are crying. They should know that they are now a target. They cannot enter our territory anymore. And if they do, they'll be taken out. I mean taken out. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Barrister John, let's take this caller who got disconnected the first time she called, the pilot calling from somewhere. I don't know where she's calling from. Hello.
I'm calling from Europe. I'm taking a flight now to America. We just have a delay of flight, so I said I should call back.
Thank you. I'm waiting to. I can't wait to talk to you for the prison project. What is your contribution?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I was just trying to say, like the last caller said, the guy is accusing the IG that the IG ate some money.
Right.
Probably if the IG does not want to sue the guy, I can personally do that because it's not good, you know. I can sue the guy in the place of the IG. My husband is a big lawyer in Europe, and I can sue him. He's a white.
All right.
Yeah.
We will talk about that off the phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much. Again, I will get back to you and we will talk. All right. Let's see who is next online. Let's see who is next online. All right. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. You are breaking up, I guess.
Can I talk? Am I okay now?
It's okay now. It's okay now. Go on, please. Where are you calling from?
This is Sam. I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Okay. What zone?
From the Northern Zone.
All right. What is your contribution or question, sir?
The first thing, I just want to make some observations. I thank Unaplenty for ABC for keep the struggle alive, because we're the one that waiting for happen where if ABC not be there, and if you, the firebrand, Sec.Chris not be there, if you, people like our barrister, so not be John, not be there, Usa will forgo because we get plenty people the way they come. We don't know plenty people now. As you be don't talk. We will know Usa the day now from their actions for the see what they do. Usa the day. Today, you know, for emergency, a day for inside room. I did try for rest. Begin run comes to me say me I come uncle say that they come. Uncle is dying. I came out and I said, what's happening? My uncle cannot speak. And then I asked her, what should happen for you? Say uncle be the watch Eric for this Tato Eric.
Yeah.
I say what did happen before the watch? Yeah, I say because I told my uncle never to watch Tato Eric, never to watch Tapan Ivan, never to watch people like Mark Barata or Capo Daniel, because when he watches them, he comes and tells me different stories. I advise him too much. He cannot stop. So what happened today is, as the uncle provide the washer, they come here say they don't arrest field marshal. Say they don't arrest field marshal. Say they jubilate. And who they jubilate? We know the people they jubilate. So my uncle just fall off. I carry him to go hospital. Fortunately now he will talk fine. Uncle be relieved. But see which way people feel the do am. When the people for
so if for collapse, they carry him go hospital.
He collapsed. My uncle collapsed because he yesterday they don't arrest field marshal. And this is I almost seized the phone because I don't tell him make you know they watch Eric Tato, make you know they watch Tapa, make you know they watch those Capo Daniel. He collapsed because he yesterday they don't catch the field marshal. We go out for hospital. Fortunately, now as we talk, she don't fall up. And I think I will just stop you make you know they watch anything where it come from Eric Tato and the rest. So if we see the way to the impact where these stupid activists that they work across we. If God no be there, I've lost my uncle, when no be bullet shoot when I Eric Tato shoot you will lie. So if you understand the pain way the cost for Amazonia. I'm my observation that all. Thank you, plenty.
Thank you.
I want the gift we hope.
Thank you. I hope that these guys they're listening to stories like this. They think that the lies they come and tell in the social media are funny. They are not funny. That man could have died, but it's unsought.
Yes, this is to tell you how important our field marshal of Amazonia is. Everybody in this revolution is relying on generals and field marshals like our field marshal of Amazonia. And if I sit here and hear that field marshal has been arrested, I'll probably be one of those who will collapse. But listen, Chris, anybody who listens to all those enablers doesn't know what he's doing. I think that uncle should stop. I think my friend should take away that phone from him so that he can leave. The caller should take away the phone from his uncle and put ABC for his uncle to be watching.
All right. Let's get to our next caller. Hello, sir.
This is Ernest calling from the DC area. And, thank you so much for the program today. I don't know which program is not going to be an important one, because all of them, each time there's always something coming up. But I just want to make some observation. Like the issues that were happening in Bamenda, I was thinking that you should try to know the name of the mayor who is there, so that we don't call them like mayor, because it's like we are giving them some and recognizing them.
Yeah, you're correct.
And like Lele Lafrique, we should call him Lele Lafrique, the governor of North, because when those things come again out from our mouth, it's like everybody will be saying the governor too. But you see, we have been calling ourselves Amazonia until everybody, even those who don't want us to go away, they still call us Amazonia. So I like us to develop that kind of, of calling people in their name, because we didn't vote for anybody. We didn't put anybody there.
Yeah, you are very correct. They say, "Oh, happy die hard," right? That is just the case here, but that is well taken.
Yeah, and then I was also going to say that, you know, why these governors and mayors or whatever, the mayors.
Now you are calling them governors and mayors now.
No, because I just call it, so now it's not going out.
All right.
Yeah, this the man of Bamenda, all of them. I want to see call the mayors again. You know, they are there because when they see the DOs and the SDOs, they are there. So that is what gives them courage. So I just want to think that if you can, in one of your means, suggest to the interim government, let our enemies not even be the armies. Let them be these people. These people that they just think that they can assume offices in our land. Let our enemy now be those people. I think that one is going to up the game, and even plus the deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Your point is very well taken, and we will do our best. Okay.
Let me make some clarification.
Yes, but let me make some. Go on, please.
Our enemies are the army and the enablers, and the Bamenda population knows the person who is called the mayor. I don't even know his name. The Bamenda population should know who is calling himself a mayor and who has been locking people's shops. The Bamenda population knows him. So if you are in Bamenda, the caller is in Bamenda, you should know the name of that enabler who is passing for the mayor of Bamenda. I have always said Lele Dafrique has started a fight that he cannot win. I will never call him the governor of the Northern Zone. I will always call him Lele Dafrique.
That point is well taken, and every one of them should be called by their name, because we all know they are illegitimate in our territory. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, Sec.Chris.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm calling from DC. I just want to tell Ambazona something that they don't know. Ambazona have allowed themselves to be lied to, so much so that somebody can just get up now and say Sako is a woman, and they'll just believe. I saw a footage going around the place that somebody is saying that he created a group, a WhatsApp group, and then Sako came in and other people, and then they removed him from the group.
Oh yeah, I listened to that young man. I don't know who that young guy is. I'm only learning recently that he lives in Canada. I have never been a member of the group that I heard him mention. I don't know. These people think they can tell lies all the way to Boya.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, because I saw the activists trying to push it that that is what Sako is doing, that is what Sako is doing. So what I want the Ambazonian to know is, let somebody, this is an assignment that I can pay $1,000 for it. Just go and create a WhatsApp group, and you put people in that group, and then you give the admin right to somebody to remove you who created that group. And if that person succeeds to do that, then you should know that what those activists have been saying is true. But if you don't succeed to do that, and then you still listen to them, then you are not serious. We are not serious. So that's just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Let's get to the next caller. I think this is ground zero. Hello. Missed that caller. This is another bad connection. I think the last caller, the last luckiest person to call. All right. Hello. Hello. If you call me with your telephone, with your television turned on high, I can hear you. Okay. Hello. If you call me with your telephone, with your television turned on high. Hello. Please, if you want to talk to me, you have to turn down the volume of your set. I sing this song every show. You must have known this by now, that when you pick a phone to call the live show, turn down the volume of your set. All right. Hello. This is a bad connection. Okay, Barrister John, I guess we come to the end of this broadcast, and we are going to call it a day. I want to thank you for coming on one more time. I look forward to having you again, maybe down the week.
Thank you, Chris. I will always be available to serve our people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have a great evening, and I hope you are staying safe from the corona.
Well, I am locked in here in my apartment, as the rules say.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, fellow Ambazonians, for tuning in, and thank you, Ground Zero, for staying in there, and Ground One, of course, too. Before I leave, I just want to re-emphasize, do not allow anybody, so-called diaspora leader, to come over your television set from French Cameroon to deceive you that the revolution is dying. Never, never. We have used the word until the last man standing. We will say the revolution is over when there is one man standing, and that one man is defeated. Until then, refuse to buy propaganda from French Cameroon television and newspapers. Refuse to give up on your right to a free and independent country of your own. Refuse the so-called reconstruction that is meant to coward you to believing that we are losing the war. My brothers, my sisters, we still have a long way to go. Resilience, courage, determination is the key to what we want. I'd like you to take this song and encourage yourself. And I will see you again, perhaps tomorrow or the following day. God bless you all, and good night.
Injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. Weber. One day, God go hear our prayer, daddy. One day, God go hear our prayer. I say one day, God go hear our prayer, daddy. One day, God go hear our prayer. Una dey for bush, una no get up, daddy. Una just pray. God go hear our prayer. Begin the need to go school. The day in Sabusho that you make us just pray. God go hear our prayer. Sing with me.
One day, God go hear our prayer. That one day, God go hear our prayer.
I say one day,
God go hear our prayer. That one day, God go hear our prayer.
See how a woman dead the bona is a bush. Oh, begin the deep in go school again, mama. Who will it cry? I go cry again. Oh, daddy. One day, God go hear our prayer. Daddy, one day, God go hear our prayer. I say one day,
God go hear our prayer. Daddy.
Sec.Chris. So painful for see one brother they kill another brother. Papa God, now you want to know this story. Now you want to know this story. My papa, what did happen for this place now? Hey! Begin the day for bush, they no get water, oh, that you, then this go. God go here, one prayer. We no get the house them. They don't burn our house them. That you make we just pray, oh. God go here, one prayer. Sing with me. One day, God go here, one prayer. That you, one day, oh. God go here, one prayer. I say one day, God go here, one prayer. That you, one day, oh. God go here, one prayer. See how they don't burn once, they burn some rest, oh. Papa the lady walk again, no. Who go feed our picking there? One day, God go ye wa prayer, daddy. One day, God go ye wa prayer. I say one day, God go ye wa prayer, daddy. One day, God go ye wa prayer. Picking there did die yo, mommy then did die yo, brother. Oh, United Nations. Just to lock him up, politician them more. Daddy send me soldier, oh daddy, forgive your brother. Who go hear this story? One day, go hear one prayer, oh daddy. One day, go hear one prayer. I say one day, go hear one prayer, daddy. One day, go hear one prayer. Merci Yves Kemayo, El Manager. Tu as cru à moi. L'Éternel est mon berger, je ne manquerai de rien. Gloire à Dieu, Maximo, champion. I say one day, Janju Foundation, espoir des enfants démunis. Caravane Père Noël. One day, God go hear my prayer, daddy. One day, God go hear my prayer. One day, God go hear my prayer, daddy. One day.
the heat. My people are not fools on the heat. You must let my people go, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands. the land? Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I said, we wanna know who owns the land. I wanna know who owns the land. Aslan, hey, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan. It must be free. Angola want to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know who owns the land. Namibia want to know who owns the land. I said, Somalia want to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe want to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Papa Slam. Now listen to the history. With the years since creation. With the years since creation. What does one know? Since the time of sun and sand. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must run from Cape to Cairo. I said, we must move our purpose land. Purpose land. Oh! Okay now I want to talk to my people. Iradanila, oh, I will know. Yeah, Iradanila, oh, I will know. Now we are the crossroads. On the Bamenda, on the land. Bill Sarah done it all. On the Bamenda, on the land. Opalimu mega zera baba. Yeah, opalimu jasu nyalaka. Yeah, opalimu zizanya betonge.
with all our fellow citizens and to ensure a spirit of true acceptance and integration.
That's an approach Shireen Sarur, a Muslim human rights activist, endorses. She says the anti-Muslim sentiment, which followed the bombings, shook the community.
When this happened, all of a sudden we have become terrorists, actually international terrorists connected to ISIS. So we were really worried about our existence in the country because the way that the entire Muslim community was blamed for what few people did was highly problematic.
Sarur says Sri Lankan politicians have been engaged in hate-mongering, fueling tensions and causing division by portraying the Muslim community as the villain in recent years.
The past year hasn't eased the pain of losing loved ones here at St. Anthony's or in the other Easter bombings. Most bereaved families and others who warned of the threat of an attack say what's hardest to cope with is that they think the bombings could have been prevented if only the government had cared to do so. Minna Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
You're watching Al Jazeera. These are the top stories. US President Donald Trump says the executive order to halt immigration for 60 days may come as soon as Wednesday. Trump says it's aimed at protecting American workers who lost their jobs due to the coronavirus pandemic.
By pausing immigration, we'll help put unemployed Americans first in line for jobs as America reopens. So important. It would be wrong and unjust for Americans laid off by the virus to be replaced with new immigrant labor flown in from abroad. We must first take care of the American worker, take care of the American worker.
The US Senate has passed a nearly $500 billion relief package to aid struggling small businesses. It will also provide more funds for hospitals and testing. The bill will now go to the House for a vote. The UN is warning that more than 250 million people could be pushed to the brink of starvation by the coronavirus pandemic. The World Food Programme says countries need to take immediate action or risk multiple famines. The coronavirus death toll in England and Wales could be much higher than the government figures indicate. The Office for National Statistics says by April 10th, it had recorded more than 13,000 deaths in England and Wales. That was 41% higher than the government's figure of around 9,000 until that day. At least